Right now, everyone's asking if AI is going to take jobs. And I think that is completely the wrong question to be asking because I think AI is about to restructure work as we know. And most companies and most workers are completely unprepared for that. For all of time, automation was really taking like that physical labor work out. But now automation is coming more for that knowledge work, more of these white collar workers. I definitely think we're starting to see early stages of this big shift in work as we know. So Katie, I would love to kind of hear your insights on where you think this is going.
Yeah, I think it's coming down to the fact that jobs now are transforming in this way that it's not just automation anymore. We're not just automating certain parts of the jobs, but we're completely shifting the entire structure of these companies. For example, I think about customer service industry. For the longest time, it was humans, and then we have shifted to this kind of hybrid model where the AI systems that they've developed are handling most of the inquiries. Like I think it's Intercom or Zendesk. They said about 60 to 80% of those initial inquiries are being handled by AI now. And then the humans are coming in only when the things need to escalate and they actually need a human to come in and solve a more complicated problem. So I think it's really coming down here to the fact that the composition of the jobs themselves are changing. And I think that's why this is feeling so confusing to so many people because we're taking these human only workflows and now we're trying to mesh AI into them, but sometimes it's getting taken over, sometimes it's not. It's this really interesting transition point that we're at right now. And I think that the layoffs that we're seeing here is coming from not just AI taking over people's roles, but the entire changing of the structure of these companies themselves. We've seen Shopify, we've seen Block, everyone's talking about all these major companies that are having these huge layoffs and people are panicking. AI is taking the jobs. But I think it's not the AI taking the jobs. I think it's that AI is causing these organizations to completely restructure. So we're pulling out this entire middle section of these companies and we're flattening the whole model together. We also are seeing a lot of these entry-level jobs just being completely taken out as well because a lot of those entry-level skills can be completely handled by AI now. So we're seeing this flattening where it's this top coming down, and that's really the bulk of what is still needed today. And I think we're also going to see this increasingly more in other industries, not just tech, and we're already starting to see it. We're seeing huge drops in finance, in security, we're seeing it in healthcare. All these different major industries are going to be affected and to also probably follow a similar model. But what do you think, Lindsay?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think we've seen a lot of announcements, even with Anthropic. They'll release a new offering of something like in the security space, and the security tech stocks will plummet. And so I think it's really interesting and definitely coming together. I think another thing I would add is this moment feels so intense because we are in this broader economic pressure time, seeing overall slower growth, uncertainty on where the markets is going. I think this is really bleeding into the workforce at the same time that we're all facing this idea of AI disruption. And I think right now, a company, instead of hiring 3 analysts, might go out and hire 1 and just equip them with as many AI tools as possible. And I think it's funny, something that you mentioned too, Katie, is that AI is taking over these entry-level roles. But I'm also seeing as well this whole idea of the messy middle where companies and organizations are flattening. Managers aren't needing like 1,000 people that they're managing, like because now they have AI. So we're seeing people face hardships in entry-level roles, but also in these middle-level roles. But also what I'll also say is a lot of people who are in more of these senior level roles are having a hard time being hired on or staying hired on because they are so expensive, because they have so much wisdom and they've been in the job market for so long. So I definitely think we're seeing hardships no matter the level of where you're at in your career. So I really think that the opportunity in the market right now, no matter on what your job position is to really lean into this human judgment side. This is where you have that leverage as a human in your career, because I think AI is really, really good at this whole pattern recognition and seeing large data sets and understanding what's next. But I think humans are really, really good at context and decision making and creativity and thinking on the cusp of what can be done. And the people who are able to be the ones that are directors of AI and understand how all these new pieces are clicking together and how these are constantly changing in the way that these click together will be the ones who continue to rise in their career, and especially the ones who are showing off their capabilities using AI, helping their coworkers use it, just be really vocal about where this technology is going.
I definitely agree. I think actions people could take right now to make sure that they're employable or that they can, continue in their career and not get taken over by AI. I'd say number one, audit your role. Look very particularly at what are you actually doing and what part of your job could AI take over tomorrow? It's really important to be aware of that so that you can get ahead and use those tools instead of kind of getting replaced yourself. I also think that you should focus in on one or two or multiple tools that you get really, really good at, because that's an extra skill that employers are going to be looking for. I think additionally, you should be building up your side jobs, your side hustles, building content, creating content system and media ecosystem online. That's one of the best things you can do right now. And then lastly, I would say really lean in on that human side of what you're doing. Make sure that you're not outsourcing those really important skills you need to keep up on, like human judgment, taste, style, strategy, the execution related to all of that as well. It's really key that you're aware of what are you executing and being able to track that, because ultimately it comes down to the results here. The jobs that are hiring are not looking for the title. They're looking for what can you actually do.
I think it's really apparent that the future of work, as we know, is here and it's changing so fast. And so I think anyone in their careers right now just need to be on top of what's happening in the news and be actively changing the way they do work, integrating the newest tech. And I think anyone who does that will stick and stay on top of their careers and still find success even today.
Definitely agree.